Welcome to Underground Nutrition After Hours. We're back with Season 3, Episode 1. Today we're talking about where did we go?
2024 election. Who are you voting for? Look at the camera.
Mike Van Wyck is my hero.
Yes, he is.
I can lunge all over the place.
Yes.
I swear.
Welcome back to Underground After Hours, Season 3, Episode 1. We're back from a little break, a little hiatus. We were going to break up. We were going to break the band up. But we decided to do a reunion tour.
Season 3 is the reunion tour.
John's got some big news. I feel like he's...
Right into it. We were going to talk about like an intro and
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, Underground Nutrition, we've been doing great. We're
good.
working on...
we're doing great.
We're doing all right. We're working on leveling up, watching a lot of entrepreneurial videos.
Entrepreneur. What's the guy's name?
Yeah, one of those guys.
There's a lot of
What's the
Hashtag.
guy's name that's super annoying?
Oh, the guy with the...
Gary.
Oh, Gary V?
Yeah.
I bought a book for you.
Yeah?
Yeah, remember?
He's tough.
Oh, no, I know, but he's just like his videos are...
Oh, that's pretty tough. I can't do it. I don't have that. I don't have the entrepreneurial spirit like that I see other people like have. I don't have that grind
You don't
set.
have that, you don't have that grind?
No. I don't
That's
have,
not
I don't know.
I don't think that's the entrepreneurial spirit, though. I think that's the...
I don't have the Instagram entrepreneurial
the
spirit.
content, the motivational speaker. It's different. There's plenty of people who have made kingdoms and for themselves and don't behave that way.
Yeah, I know. It's
You
just...
know, if it's your stick to inspire other people, awesome.
I mean, I don't have the working
Some
24
people
hours a
don't
day,
need that
7
and
days a week.
still, but that stuff definitely attracts attention. When was the last time we were here?
Well, it's 2. I think we had 2 months off.
Yeah, summer vacay.
It was summer
Felt
vacay.
like more.
Did it?
I
That's
don't
just because
know.
you missed us. Probably
Summer-
2 months.
summer
2.5
vacay.
months.
Yeah, I would say the beginning of August.
It's tough. The podcast thing is tough. It's like it seems like such a good idea. That meme I sent you guys, I don't know if you remember, kind of really kind of broke my heart. And it was like it's like a guy explaining to a girl. He's like, it's a podcast with my friends, but we put a little twist on it, a funny little twist on it.
Which is?
That's it. That's it.
Oh, that's
He's like trying to say like, well, I have a podcast.
Oh, okay.
But it's like me and my friends talking about stuff, but we put a little funny twist on
right.
it. And I was like, oh man, that fucking hurts.
Everybody has a podcast
You got me.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a podcast. So it got to the point where it's like you're doing content. We're sitting in a room and it's like fun for us. And there's some people like it, but
Yeah.
and some videos do really well and some of them don't.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of it first of all, do you even really want your podcast to blow up? And I don't know. I don't know what
financially, sure, but who wants to be under a microscope like that?
I don't know. A lot of
God forbid.
some of these, yeah, seriously. But some of these podcasts that are popped off that are under a microscope, like that's why they pop off, is because they're so, confrontational and it's kinda like,
big personalities.
Yeah.
Most of the successful podcasts are just like interview podcasts where it's like a rotation of the same groups of guys where it's like nepotism. It's where they all just sort of rotate each other's shows. So like whatever's popular
Yeah.
seems to be like a couple of seats in the industry, a couple of podcasts that everybody sits down for.
Mhm.
And that's like the lion's share of their views,
Right. I don't know. Barstool really has a shitload of podcasts that all do pretty well,
Yeah.
which is insane.
But that's but they're part of a network.
yeah.
And again, it's like they sort of rotate. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
they like phase off one another. So
Yeah.
and they kind of corner that market.
I always thought I would use this as like because we're always dying for content,
yeah,
and I thought we'd just break it down into micro content, put it on social medias.
that's what I thought the whole point of it was, but we stopped doing that.
Yeah, because the editing fell squarely on me, and that's a bitch, dude.
That's
I'm
not true. I mean, that's not entirely true. I think that we lost the content, the micro content when we lost Donnie.
Yeah, but then it fell on me to do, and I
No, I
wasn't going
didn't.
to
And
do
is
it.
that hard, huh? It really is that.
Try
much?
it. Give me.
I remember having a conversation with Scott and
Dude, I
saying
can
to
barely
him,
crop a fucking video.
Yeah.
In my fucking cell phone.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious.
No, I believe you.
So like, I couldn't imagine trying to go through a fucking.
You can let the
program.
the AIs do it, but you're not going to get like
the funny stuff or the.
You're not going to
it's not
get.
going to look exactly the way you
It's
want.
going to look like a robot.
You have a vision, and it's not going to.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
And you tried to do it?
No, I mean,
He'll timestamp stuff for me and be like, "Put this in."
Oh yeah.
I was doing the time stamping
Oh, for the
Dylan,
Instagram.
and it took so.
It's
I mean,
annoying, right?
20-minute or 15-minute, open dialogue rambling. I mean, 2-3 hours to get
Seriously?
to get 90 seconds.
So when me and you did that thing, and you had to break it down for Dylan, it took
me
you
2 or 3
hours
2 or 3 hours. Yeah.
to get
Well, if you
90
add,
seconds.
yeah, if you add it, I'm also when it comes to that kind of stuff a perfectionist, but it's.
For people to swipe off after 2 seconds.
I know it's ridiculous.
You don't say that.
Yeah, say that.
But that you'll get
I know.
10,000 views.
I wish
and
I know.
98% of the people did not last 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I've completely changed my philosophy. I've given over my social media to a social media director, coordinator.
Okay.
Right. I have a rough outline for what we're going to be posting for the week, and we're going with quantity over quality.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep the quality up, but it's more important for us. For the
to get
longest
in-
time, I've always been like, no. I would rather not post for 3 weeks than
Yeah.
post something
Some dumb
I thought
Something
was
fire. Yeah.
corny. I just want to post something that was like good.
Yeah.
But I noticed like even the stuff that I put the video game thing, I literally paid Fiverr like $900 to make like this 8-bit video game. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Nobody watched it.
Nobody watched it. I love it. The Magnum PI thing. It's like it's
Yeah.
like those things are cool.
Yeah.
People like them, but
But
I
is there,
couldn't believe the lack of, and I sound like a narcissist, but I can't believe the lack of attention that the Urban Air video got. I thought that was going to be like,
I know.
I thought that was going to be the new like lady screaming on the plane video.
it's like I've like stuff that I think is funny and cool. It's just like I feel like it's just not
And then like the stupidest one pops off.
something. Yeah, something that you just put a post up there and you thought just like one off. So that's why I said, fuck it. I'm gonna hand it over to somebody who says they know better than me. We're gonna go with quantity over quality. And it's working. I mean, I was stuck at like 8,000 followers on Instagram. I refused to like follow people. I wanted everything to be like organic.
Yeah.
And he's come up with this campaign. We're not buying any. We don't pay for anything. We hardly do paid ads. But he's got us up to almost. We're pushing at 10,000 in like a month.
You following everybody?
He's doing following. He's liking, commenting, posting every day.
Yeah.
Just doing the social media game. It's a game. At the end of the day, it's like a game. It's a language. You have to just like learn it.
You have to toe the line for whatever social media platform you're on.
Yeah, you got to feed Moloch.
Yeah.
You got to give Moloch his blood.
was-
You will get what you want.
Like the still photos now, like you got to choose a music option. You got to do
Yeah,
all their
yesterday-
little
And they
features.
took away all the good music from us.
I mean, not us. We had Jadakiss.
Yeah, we had Kiss on that bitch yesterday. Yesterday's went good.
Yeah.
Which is fucking weird because there's some that are fucking dope ass pictures.
Yeah.
And they get like fucking 46 likes.
It's the same thing with the with the hype reels. It got to the point where it was like how popular
Yeah.
is the song that's in the background that would dictate how well it did.
So stupid.
It's crazy.
It's so
I can't. So I'm just like,
like we're 40 years old.
how much do I have to? Yeah, I don't
We're
want
40 years old doing this
Instagram
shit.
clowns.
Yeah, Instagram clown, 40-year-old Instagram
I'm
clowns.
just like, John, okay, what do you have lined up for social media to this
Like
week?
it's a real
And
conversation
I'm
we
like,
have in our
yeah,
weekly meetings.
In our weekly meeting, like, all right, what do we got planned for
How many
social
likes
media?
did we get?
All right, let's look back on this one. How did that one do?
What's our
Oh my
engagement?
God. All right, so we're gonna do a fucking Halloween. It's like
I have
fucking
it.
clown.
I have a
shit.
whole Halloween thing planned out. It's gonna
It's
be
making me sweat right now.
Yeah.
That's how
I have
stupid
a
it is.
suggestion and a request.
Sure.
Not
Of
for,
me
No.
or of Scott?
I don't request anything. Bring back the Instagram videos, the COVID Instagram videos.
But that requires me being in, first of all, a headspace, like that where I can turn a camera onto
Once
me
you- once
and just start talking. It's like it's become. I become self-aware.
Give it one a month. When you become self-aware, I truly believe, and you can call me insane. We're not interrupting you, are we?
No, not at all. I'm
Is
sorry.
everything okay?
I'm so sorry.
Is everything okay?
That was weird. That was really weird. I didn't even notice that I did that until you said.
He's got that's ingrained.
Yeah.
That's in his DNA at this point.
It's like me wiping the phone screen. But
back. We're back.
You can fry an egg on him.
Watch me.
I think that, and I don't know if I'm sounding dramatic, but I think that a huge part of the reason that you remained relevant, above water, whatever, during COVID was that was the time that you started to do that. I think people really, I think people really resonate with that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I know.
I mean, you had a topic. It was
Instagram was different then. What was it called? What were those called? Those weren't shorts.
you started
They were called something else. Instagram
movies or
movies.
I don't. TV, Instagram TV,
IGTV.
IGTV. But you did you started with the supplements, and then Alan said, "I'm not doing this anymore."
Yeah.
And then you just started doing the videos where you're just waving around the knife in the camera,
I'll
completely unhinged, completely unhinged about the newest COVID update.
Yeah.
I
I know. I should. I'll tell you a funny story about my partner speaking. So Alan has been working with me and trying to get for the longest time. Alan, because he doesn't like doing videos. He just doesn't like it. It's not, and
Some people don't.
It's not that I like it. I just don't mind
It's
it.
necessary.
Yeah, I don't mind. You know what I mean? I don't mind how I look or sound on film. It doesn't bother me having a camera in my face. Really, I could usually get through it because I know it's all in the editing anyway. But today it was his birthday. We had
Happy birthday, Alan. Happy birthday, Alan Collins.
Happy birthday. He had to work today because we had like a staffing issue, which is unfortunate. I would have worked, except I had to fill in a shift already this week, and we have to keep things 50-50 because we're partners.
I like that.
And so he's like, I'm going to go with Raph, our Instagram guy, and go film today. And I called him about halfway through the day, and he's like, I'm not filming anything. I'm cleaning the store. So he went complete autism.
And just was cleaning
And he
the
needed to film
toilets.
one thing, and he brought Raph to help him. He's got Raph cleaning the shelves. Our Instagram guy is cleaning
Garwood
the
looks
store.
fucking beautiful.
It's Hazlitt, yeah. Hazlitt's like shining.
Nice.
And we had a good sales day, and he is now equated cleaning the
Just
store
cleaning the store.
with the good sales.
I love it.
That's my partner.
Happy
We
birthday,
love him,
Alan.
though. Happy birthday. Can't wait to spend some time with him this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to go to a little haunted house.
Yeah,
we're
it'll be
going to
fun.
try to get some content out of that.
That'll be
God forbid we do something without the cameras rolling.
I know. We can't go just have some good old fun.
So anyway, we've sort of changed the whole thing, and we're doing it. I'm just kind of like letting go and letting God on the social media thing. It's working. I mean, it's the engagement's up, so that's it. So we figured we'd come back to the podcast and give even more useless, mindless content for the unwashed masses.
Well, I just enjoyed the time that we spent together
Yeah, it's fun.
when we did this, even though we would have fun for 2 hours while we were here, and then we would spend the week prior and the week post fighting
about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's completely out of all of our hands.
We're fighting. Scott's mad that we're not coming up with any topics, and then Scott's mad that we're not reposted. Scott's just mad.
what are we doing?
Scott is perpetually
I'm like, what are
mad.
we doing? How much time are we going to spend on this to not do anything with it, you know?
Right.
If we put a little effort into it, you get a few hundred views, you get people clicking on your shop, you get people checking out your gym, or at least like knowing your names and
I agree.
whatever.
Yeah.
Chipping away.
All right.
I'll tell you who was super excited about season 3, the announcement of season 3, was Pitbull Dave.
Pitbull Dave. Yeah.
I just saw him. He's super excited
He's loyal.
for the new episode.
Yeah. I saw him outside of the gym today, and he asked me if I wanted to make out, and I ignored him and walked to my car. I said, you went to the county for a couple days too long, buddy. But he saved. So we did a huge apparel drop. It was the biggest drop we've done in a long time. We did. I had this. I initially, I don't know if you know this. I gave the idea to John. I don't know if John's happy that he didn't take it, but I was like, let's do like prison art, Chicano, West Coast style, gangster rap, 90s vibe apparel. Only God Can Judge Me. Lift Now, Cry Later. Chicano, Day of the Dead Girl. We did a revised logo. Came out with sweatpants. Came out with T-shirts. Came out with crew neck, hats, the whole fit.
Mm-hmm. How's
So
it done?
Good. Sold a ton.
Good.
I couldn't be happier. I mean, you don't know how that stuff's going to go. You make it like an $8,000 investment in a fucking bunch of clothes, and if people don't like it, you have to go to your stores and look at it every day.
It's a big hit.
Like, there's only a few things I've done that like are still around. Like a couple anime hoodies are still floating around.
I wore that the other day.
There's a yellow death metal T-shirt that nobody bought that's still floating around in my stores somewhere.
Okay.
But for the most part, the apparel went really well. Videos came out really cool. I was happy about that. Step in the right direction.
I copped one.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I got a crew and a T-shirt actually.
What's new with Paramount? You guys are getting a whole bunch of equipment. That's so exciting.
Can you not do
I
this anymore with
didn't.
the microphone? You just the whole time.
I don't know that they're. Why are they
I'm
connected?
just
What was he doing? He was just.
I was just moving mine and his moves.
Here, like, oh, this is what he's doing. He's just, well, you can't. He's shaking my microphone
I'm gonna
back
check
and
my
forth.
phone again.
Relax. Relax. There's nothing on there you need to say.
Not right now.
Paramount is good. We are, we're doing great. We just made a huge investment in some new equipment that should be trickling in over the next few months. Some pieces that we thought were definitely needed, requested for a long time.
What do we
And
got?
then-
Are we allowed
we're
to
not
talk
talking
about it?
We're not talking
No.
about that. Yeah, we will.
The only thing we dropped was that he said was the seated hamstring
curl.
curl because people were
Have been asking for
begging
that since
for
we
it.
opened.
So of all the pieces that you bought, of the tens of thousands of dollars you just invested, you're not going to tell anybody what you're getting because we
You're
want to
gonna
keep
have
it
to come and
secret.
say,
you gotta come and pay.
come try it. Come and say.
Come and pay.
Come and pay.
Well, that's exciting. Some big name brands. I know all the pieces. I won't
Yeah.
ruin the surprise, but I think it's going to be a big hit. People will enjoy that. I like when gyms invest back into the gym and don't just let it rot.
Right.
You know? That's nice.
Yeah, I think
It's a nice gesture.
Yeah, I think the members are gonna be happy. I think other people that see it are gonna be intrigued, like you said. So, big things coming in 2025. Hopefully, a little bit before.
Want to hear something interesting?
Yes.
There's a gas station by my house that sells Zin, and I picked up a couple of Zin Cinnamon Sixes last week, and I got them in. I have a bunch of empties in my car, obviously,
Right.
and I put them down on my seat, and I noticed the color is a little different. Like the color, the red color is a little off from the other containers that I have in my car. I don't think anything of it. Open it up, pop one in, but it smells like. The can smells like let's say pumpkin spice, not cinnamon.
Okay.
Right? Cinnamon, the flavors, there's barely a smell
Right.
on the Zin. So I go to scan the barcode to get my Zin points because I'm saving up to get something spectacular. And it says that the barcode doesn't work, that it was either scanned or there was an error. So this is in the morning. I'm driving and I'm popping these things in and nothing's like,
Oh, you're not hitting.
I'm still Nick fitting, right?
We're scratching.
So I went back to that same gas station. I gave up on the can. I must have ate like 5 or 6 of them. I gave up on the can because you know how like the nicotine hits?
Yeah.
You know, you get the little tickle in the back of your throat. You might hiccup.
Yeah, and
You get that little, yeah.
and then you might have to go to the
You
bathroom.
might have to use the bathroom. You know, you're fucking
Yep.
firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
So I stop at a Wawa and I pick up another can and I put one in and it's like I'm doing Zin for the first time. So
Right.
half the day has gone by. So I'm like, maybe I got a bad can. So I went back to that gas station and I bought a Zin cinnamon and I bought a peppermint. And I'm telling you, they're fakes. The barcodes don't work. They look identical. All the stickers are right. You can't scan the points. And if you eat them, nothing happens.
Where's this? Did you go beat up the guy?
I'm going. I'll let you know what happens. But I'm going to go. I'm going to bring the cans. I'm going to be like, you're going to give me my money back for this or I'm calling the police. Or I'm going to Van Wyck you.
Van Wyck.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good reference. It was a segue. So anyway, be careful, guys. Don't.
Are you gonna give away this location?
Well, it's right across the street from my house. So
okay.
Probably not. I mean, not that anyone's gonna show up at my house.
Right.
But it's in brick.
Okay.
And so just be careful. If you go to like the crate, they sell kratom there. So
Sick.
Do you think that's real?
the kratom,
Yeah.
probably. It's probably just fentanyl.
Yeah, extra potent.
But I'm serious. I have 3 cans where the barcodes didn't work and the Zin didn't do anything. They tasted different. They looked a little different. On the outside of the cans, the stickers was all cans. So people are counterfeiting Zin.
Counterfeiting Zin.
It's wild. Crazy times.
Tough times, dude.
I'm going to prove it. I'm going to find out. Anyway, I just thought that I would tell a little side story.
Yeah, it's the first I heard of that.
Yeah.
Are you good or are you good now?
Are you a fan of this smooths? Because I love this. This is my favorite.
This is just what they had in the Wawa. They never have the cinnamon. You know,
I don't like the cinnamon.
I love this. That's all I use. Cinnamon and coffee all day long.
Tigers love pepper.
Fired up. Getting my test levels back up to 5.
John's like a tiger that hates cinnamon.
Do they? How do you know this?
That's a reference from what's the movie where they get fucked up and the dude pulls out his tooth. They don't remember the whole night.
The Hangover.
Yeah, The Hangover. Yes.
And there's a tiger in the room,
Right.
That they stole from
He's-
Mike Tyson's
and
house.
There's pepper in it. He goes, "That's a lot of pepper." He's like, "Tigers love pepper. They hate cinnamon." Van Wyck.
Yeah, John, go ahead. You're driving. I feel like
He's the pilot.
Well, I just saw. There's been some controversy surrounding
in the fitness space.
the fitness social media space. I think it's important.
It's the world's worst space.
To differentiate the two.
It's a living hell.
John's life.
You have Mike Van Wyck, Big Mike Van Wyck.
You love him, right?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy his content
You
more
love
than
him.
most people.
That's Big Mike Waters' dad.
BMW.
This is BMW's dad. It's all
He's
cool.
not big anymore.
Who, Van Wyck?
No, Mike Waters.
Well, I mean, he's got muscles now.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean that.
He's slimmed down.
He's slimming down.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
He's a couple weeks out.
Good for him.
Apparently, he's like a trainer. He's like a personality at this point, right? He's definitely a bodybuilder.
Yeah, he's got.
Or at one point was. I would
He
imagine
was-
he's retired. He's probably what, 50?
He was a pro. He was a pro bodybuilder. He didn't ever do very well, but he was in pretty good shape. And
I enjoy his content just because it's like any content that you enjoy, it's catchy. It's not outwardly like attacking people, begging for what.
I feel like a lot of his personality is sort of attacking people. I don't watch a ton of it. I've seen a bunch of his videos. I never had strong feelings about him either way. I thought he was just like a guy's guy. He has a shtick. He has body builds a certain way. He's got a certain mindset. He likes to. He's like, it looks like he's on the verge of calling everyone gay. Like why are you lifting like that? Like
Iron sharpens iron type dude, like lift heavy.
You don't even know who he is?
I know he's the guy with all the tattoos,
The big beard, the tattoos.
on his head. Yeah, he looks like a fucking
he
clown.
makes good. He makes. He looks like what?
fucking clown.
Yeah. I mean, he looks like he's playing a part. But
Yeah, no, I
I get it.
I mean,
I always enjoyed his content, and I always I on more than one occasion suggested that for the sake of content that Frank Pro kind of mirror what he does.
Like
And I-
as kind of like a shtick.
Well, yeah. Well, Frank is, notorious for sharing unsolicited opinions on social media.
Yeah.
So and that's fine. I'm not like
But
insulting him for it, but I just
You
thought
like
it-
the way that Van Wyck does.
I like the way it's packaged, and it's and I always said to Frank, like you could do this if you just kind of what would you do, or your thought processes into like a similar box, like a similar delivery, that I think you would be very successful, because we've had multiple business conversations about content and him wanting to go in a certain direction with the content for his business. And I always said, I think you'd be really good at this, because you're knowledgeable, you're
got a personality.
likable,
rough around the
and you
edges.
do have a divisive personality, and I just think that's right. Divisive or cultive? What's the right word for that?
Divisive.
Divisive.
I think divisive is a better.
What does cultive mean?
It's not a word. I think you're making it up.
A cultive personality?
A cult of personality.
Oh, okay. It's not cultive?
A cult of personality. Like a cult, like a cult following.
Okay.
About somebody's personality. Jeez. A cult of.
That's
That's fun.
so
Clip
stupid.
that, AI.
No, it's all good. It's fine.
It's
I'm not perfect, but
you never heard the song Cult of Personality, Live in Color? Oh, yeah.
No.
No, it was like a 90s song. Early 90s, a cult of personality. Whatever. Call
Maybe
it.
if I heard it.
So anyway, I always, in all seriousness, suggested that he go that direction just for, micro content, just talking about something specific, one thing for a couple seconds, and you're definitely going to get the engagement. You're going to get the people that hate on you in the comments, and you're going to get the people that agree with you. I don't know. I remember I saw one video. My favorite video of his was he was kind of talking about becoming like a fitness influencer.
Yeah.
And
This is Van Wyck.
This is Van Wyck, and he's going through the step by step, and he's like, "Well, here's this is it. This is how you blow up being a fitness influencer." And he took he did like an exercise on his machine for a couple seconds, and then he literally dropped the exposure on it till the screen was almost black.
Yeah.
Which is like a huge thing. It's like you see it with a lot of people. It's so dark that you can't tell what the fuck is in the video. You can barely make out the shadow of a human being. And I just thought that was really funny and creative.
Like he was
Like I'd never seen anybody. He said what I've been thinking all along.
Yeah,
would never thought to make a video of it.
Yeah. So the guy Van Wyck is like been a little bit of a divisive personality. He has a good following, and he recently made a video suggesting that natural nerds, if they, basically saying if you know everything, then why is your physique so mediocre? Right. And he was talking allegedly about this guy Nippard, Jeff Nippard.
I don't know the guy's full name.
Nippard. He's probably know. He's a 5'5", 180-pound natural bodybuilder, science based. He's like the Norton. Like he just everything is time under tension, mathematical equations. He's a smart kid. I can't digest the content because I'm not natural. I don't care, and I've heard it all. I've heard it all before. And I think going to the gym with like a math mentality is sort of silly. But he made a response video basically saying, well, if that's true, then why does Chris Bumstead, who is arguably the best physique, why does he hire a coach? If the idea is that the people who look the best know the most, then why are the people who look the best paying for people who don't look the best to tell them what to do?
Right.
Which was essentially him firing
A
back
shot, yeah. This kid.
at this guy. He's a 44-year-old guy, and he's talking to like Nippard's like in his 20s.
Okay.
So, and the size difference is Van Wyck is like a 6 foot. He says he's 6 foot, but
280
I
pounds.
feel like anybody who says they're 6 foot is
5'10".
I heard that's exactly what they said. I saw a guy say it on YouTube. He said anybody who says they're 6 foot is 5'10".
Yeah.
and he's probably 265 pounds.
He's a mutant.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He's a mutant.
And you got Nippard, who's 5'5", 180 pounds. Natty ice.
Right.
And
I don't know what he looks like. Is he in good shape?
He's in great shape.
He's in very good shape.
It's chiseled, fucking.
For as good as a 5'5" man,
He looks like a natural bodybuilder.
As the best physique of a guy who's 5'5" and 180 pounds, the best you could probably look
Is
how he looks.
Yeah.
So he's doing something right. I mean,
and he's doing all those hypertrophy,
genetics.
super slow.
I don't know what he's doing. I couldn't. 30-minute video. I couldn't sit there. I don't know what he's doing, dude. He's eating chicken and broccoli and fucking.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, listen, you see, like now that we have Instagram and we follow so many people, and you see so many bodybuilding stuff. Like you see people that are like, the iron sharpens iron. You lift fucking heavy as hard as you can, explosive. And then you got the people that are like doing things as slow as possible.
Yeah, I think that's like it's been around forever, but the newest thing is like time under tension and super slow negatives.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that shit.
It does make your workout pretty long.
When I looked at my
It takes 5 minutes. To do
my
a set
best
of
physique,
pull downs.
my as a not natural, my best physique was pretty strict hypertrophy training.
Yeah.
Not even free weights, and that was the best. But the strongest I was almost no hypertrophy
Yeah,
training.
just banging out
And
sets.
doing like 5x5s and shit like that. So anyway, both of them are pretty insufferable if you ask me.
They all suck.
And they go to the same gym. All right, so I don't know. Do you want to take over from here? What happened?
I don't know. Well, there's missing video. I didn't see the video. I saw photos.
You didn't see the video?
No.
Oh, I saw the video.
Oh, I saw.
I saw one section of the video of the actual assault.
So
There was a fight.
He hit him.
Was
Or
it
he
a
choked
fight?
him.
It's just people are saying. First of all, People are super soft. Van Wyck was totally wrong. Like
He was dick?
completely wrong. But so apparently, this is as far as I know as of today. Nippard said something to him. I don't know if that's true or not, but none of that's seen on camera. The only thing that's seen on camera is you see Van Wyck walk up to Nippard, right, tower over him, doesn't even say anything, and like grabs him by his throat and shoves him back. Looks like he went to like choke him, but like spazzed out and threw him on the ground. And apparently he put his hands on him a little bit more after that. But the only video I saw was that, and I mean.
Making a big deal of it.
Oh, big deal, man. Isn't the word. Like, people are saying, like, first of all, Van, I don't know what he was thinking, because at Mr. Olympia, was it Mr. Olympia? Like a few weeks ago, a dude came up to him, was basically clowning on him, who was big, and he didn't do shit.
I saw that.
He basically was calling his boys over. He didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
And then this kid Nippard comes into your gym. He's like 20 years younger than you.
Yeah. Not
even half the size of you, and you just manhandle him.
Bully him. Yeah.
He must be going through something, you know. Because I'm all for violence, like, but you have to weigh that. There's a mathematical equation for your violence. It's like whatever the outcome is, whether it's a lawsuit, getting kicked out of the gym, people on the internet hating you, all of that has to be worth whatever the violence was. Right. So like, do something to your family, talk about your wife or your girl, kids, whatever, all that stuff.
Do you think he just did it for this exposure, for this same reason that we're talking about it right now?
Well, this is going to be an expensive exposure.
Yeah.
He's going to get he's going
to. I think he was arrested, or he's going to be arrested, because it was clearly assault on camera. And Nippard's not going to let it go, because this is going to be content forever. And he's going to sue him. And the gym, he was a trainer at the gym. So he was there in a work capacity, probably, or at least he was employed by that gym.
He assaulted an employee.
He assaulted a member. Van Wyck is a trainer there, as far as I understand. I'm kind of just going off of like bits and pieces here. And I mean, everybody on the internet is calling Van Wyck a bully and an asshole, and yeah, he clearly is. But at the same time, like, he kind of yoked a kid up who was talking shit, like stuff that we would like. Where I'm from, it happens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit happens. You talk shit. You don't like somebody. Maybe like a shoving or like calling each other names, and then that's it. You know what I mean? But because of the nature of everything and
the exposure,
it's like everything's televised and in your faces. It's like something. Now there has to be something done.
Yeah. I didn't know that he cowarded from a confrontation at the Olympia from somebody his own size. That changes the equation.
Yeah, a guy came up to, I forget, I think it was something about the dude. I think the dude was natural. I think it had to do with steroids or something like that. This guy makes content, and it's like they don't like each other. I don't know. They don't like each other. He went up to him and got up in his face and was like kind of like clowning on Van Wyck, and Van Wyck, like, they were like face to face, and he didn't do anything. Cowered away. Looked like there was like a bunch of, I don't know. It's all weird, you know, fitness expo stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
just think that if you're going, I think that speaks to a very weak quality when he's a bully.
Yeah, when you'll prey on
I want to hear. Listen, like I said, I'm not against putting your hands on somebody, but you just whatever your personal like line is, it better be worth what's about to happen.
Squeeze,
yeah, because that should be like the. And then if he acted because he was on a bunch of gear and he was mad, you know, he was butthurt about getting, you know, whatever the response was to him or whatever the case may be, is if it's not worth losing your job and looking like a huge idiot in front of everybody. Then.
And he's looking like, I have no idea that this is going on. So
yeah, it just happened like a day or two ago. Everybody's got something, and I have not seen not one video on YouTube that supported Van Wyck at all. I see Van Wyck Instagram. He's just reposting stories of people who are like on his side, like saying nice things about him.
Right.
But I haven't heard. He should. If I were him, if I were Van Wyck, I would not apologize, and I would come up with real quick a good explanation.
Why he did what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, if he close fist punched him in his face, broke his shit, knocked his teeth out. I mean, he hit him pretty hard in the throat and shoved him. But grow up, dude. Fight back. You know. But I don't know.
That's John's boy. Now he's trying to. Now you're.
What do you think, John?
Now
I
you're,
think that
walking it back a little bit.
No, I didn't know. Well, I don't think it's walking it back. I didn't know what that other thing changes it for me. You know,
John never sends me fitness stuff, and probably in the last 6 months he's maybe sent me, unless it was like something that like a piece of equipment. But he sent me Van Wyck a couple months ago, talking shit.
talking shit about one of his coaches,
Yeah.
One of whose coaches?
Scott's. That's the point of the reason.
Yeah, so Van Wyck was one of my very old, long time ago, Nick
Scott's
Trigilli.
best friend.
Not my best friend. But look, man, like you say what you want about Nick Trigilli, like
He's notoriously a shit talker, right?
yeah, and Van Wyck called him a bad person or whatever. And I don't listen. I'm not going to stick up for Nick Trigilli. He was a decent coach to me. He was a decent person to me. You know, like the gay for pay stuff never really bothered me. It was funny and I think he's given some pretty bad advice, but also like in terms of like the way I looked, it's the best I ever looked.
Yeah.
When he had me dieting and like maybe my genetics and like anybody could have told me anything and it would have worked out.
Right.
But I always liked Trigilli. I had nothing against him. He's a content creator. He's just out there trying to
Get views
and make money too. Like they're all in each other's shit. It's all a bunch of gossipy little girls, big girls.
So sad.
Yeah, it's so fun. People rushing out when the Nippard thing happened. It literally happened, I don't know, maybe not even an hour. And Greg Doucette was making a video about it. And it's like, because he had some like mole in the gym who like saw it happen. It was like a rush to get like the first
like the breaking story.
The breaking story of a grown man putting his
It's like a Woj bomb.
shoving
NBA.
another grown man. And it's like you would think that like gunshots went off.
Yeah, like it was an assassination on the president.
It's all pretty fucking silly, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty, but that's fitness industry
That's the
drama.
industry, yeah.
So like gone are the days of like Tony Huge murder cases, you know, which was
1,000 milligram of DMP club.
yeah, that whole thing. Did you guys know about that? Leo,
No, I don't know that.
his roommate got murdered in Tony Huge's house. You guys,
Thailand or something, right?
and they pinned it on like Tony Huge's harem of girl. Like it was like a girl that was like a brother of one of the girls that was living there or something, but people still think it was Tony.
And now we're into, 270 pound men bullying a 150-pound dude.
Yeah, that's a little. I mean, I agree with you. I think that's excessive. I don't have an opinion. I enjoy Mike Van Wyck's content, but contrary to what you think, like I don't follow a ton of that. Like, I see it like when I'm mindlessly scrolling or whatever. But I ended up following him just because I thought his content was mildly entertaining and also informative.
When I was 13, I was like on a family vacation at the beach, and I think it was like nighttime, and we were near the beach on this like walkway that goes over the dunes. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I was being an asshole. I think I was like lighting fireworks off or being loud, and a guy from one of the other houses like told me to shut the fuck up.
Right.
And I was like 13-year-old kid, and I'm like, you shut the fuck up. Like I started like we're like yelling back and forth, and he charged down, grabbed me up, threw me on the ground,
yoked you up?
threw me on the ground. And like it was probably the worst thing that ever happened to me up to that point. But I learned a valuable lesson,
Don't talk shit.
If you're gonna run your mouth about grown men or two grown men and somebody puts their hands on you, at the end of the day, there's a paper thin veil of violence separating everything.
Yeah.
So maybe Nippard will learn a lesson.
Yeah.
Maybe Van Wyck's gonna get dragged though, and probably deservedly so. Wow. That's that.
I mean, I'm going to go check it out now.
Yeah, it's a
curious.
fun watch on
Yeah.
YouTube. There's plenty of videos about it.
Is it on Instagram too? Or
Oh yeah,
I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
when I first saw it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Frank sent me a video or a post today of Van Wyck like pushing his new gear, his new like apparel, and he was getting roasted
yeah.
in the comments, and they were like, he needs lawyer money, so he's got a new apparel drop.
But here's the thing: on YouTube, he usually gets 15 or 20,000 views on his videos. After this happened, his most recent video has 150,000 views. So it's monetized.
That equates to dollars.
Yeah.
And people are gonna hate watch him, And fuck
he's
it.
gonna get paid.
I mean, he might end up having to settle a fucking $30,000 lawsuit.
Whatever,
or
dude.
Get fired, but I mean,
He'll get picked up somewhere.
I bet he gained a bunch of followers on Instagram and shit. I mean,
We'll hire him at Paramount.
maybe it was staged. Maybe they planned it together.
Could be.
Split
That's
that money.
That's the black pill.
That's what we need.
That's the black pill.
We
right
need
there.
some like
Some big
gang
controversy.
violence drama.
The Jets versus the Sharks.
What else we got? You want to get into your politics? Or I know you were chomping at the bit. Talk about your political takes. 2 weeks away from a major election.
Major.
I'm always chomping at the bit.
You
to
guys,
talk
are you
about
guys going to vote?
politics.
Do you vote?
Always.
Do you vote?
Are you
Of
kidding
course.
me? Come
Yeah.
on.
That's good.
Of course.
Let me get my little sticker.
I'm undecided.
Yeah.
You're undecided. I'm not.
No.
But it's like
Excuse me.
it's like pissing in the ocean voting in New Jersey for the presidential race.
Yeah, it
but-
doesn't really matter, but you still got to partake.
Yeah, gotta go with because we live in a
You
democracy.
gotta rock the vote.
We live in a real democracy where democratic things happen,
Yeah.
and where we elect people that represent their majority constituency. Right?
Uh-huh. Are we? I guess, we're pretty close.
You know
2
what I've
weeks.
found
2
to
weeks?
be? Yeah, 2 weeks, literally. I've found to be it's just an interesting, the way the world's going. And it's not, I mean, it's not like a hot take or anything, but you have both candidates who are refusing to do interviews on major news networks, debate. But you will find them on, like we were talking before, your larger, more popular podcast platforms. So it's just to anybody who is, I mean, I remember having conversations, in 2016, 2017, like fighting with people on the internet, and their comeback was always like, "Oh, you learned that on Joe Rogan or America, Nick Fuentes," and it's like I learned my stuff on CNN or 60 Minutes, so that's what gives a bit validity.
Yeah.
The legacy media is dead.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately,
In case you don't know that, it's been dead for going on a decade now. But you have, Donald Trump, who I don't think has has he sat down with anybody? 60 Minutes he did, correct?
yeah, he did. He's
Done a couple.
He's not refusing to do interviews. I don't think. I think he just has a team of people that know how to reach. And same
Learning
thing
how to
with
control him. Yeah.
that are learning and how to get him to the biggest reach to the people that are going to make the biggest difference. That's why they're focusing now so hard in Pennsylvania. They're really digging down into you have to understand, like, they have a team of people for like analytics of this stuff where they sit down, like, what will this podcast do for us? What's the demographic? Where is it most watched? Who are we going to get to? And that's where they make their decisions based on.
Yeah, but I'm just pointing to the fact that
Fox and CNN.
just that these people that are making the decisions that for these politicians, that it is wise for you to be on that on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
It is wise for you to be in Kamala's.
I'm a little nervous about the Joe Rogan thing because I can't imagine Trump sitting down for 2 hours
Sometimes
to do a long form. The thing about Trump is I don't ever really see him like as himself, like where he seems like totally, like I saw like some clips from the Theo and the Schultz where he seems sort of relaxed and he can kind of have conversation. I think that's like, but for him to be able to do that, I think for 2 hours on Joe Rogan, I'm kind of worried about. I like him better when he's just like, when he's not doing the Trump stuff, when he's not playing like the Trump character.
Yeah.
I think he's more
you
relatable.
See him doing it. You see it on both sides. Harris was on the Call Her Daddy. Is that what it's called?
Was she doing her like
I didn't watch
New
it.
Orleans patois accents?
No,
or
she was doing that with
the gangster.
the two guys, the basketball guys.
She does that's the funniest shit is when she changes her accent. You ever see that? She talks like so
They
insane.
what's that guy's name on Fox? I don't, you know,
The interview she did for Fox. Yeah,
he shredded her. Like she shredded herself.
yeah.
You know,
Well, I
just
mean,
like simple questions.
Imagine being her, right? And people being completely unhappy with like the way things are, and then having to do this amazing like mental gymnastics to arrive to like, well, it's not our fault.
Not my fault.
Yeah. You know,
It's going to be different.
it's going to be why? Well, it's going to be different because policies you support it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it must be incredibly hard for you to argue any point if everybody is unhappy with so many different things. You know, I'll tell you what, though. I just want to talk about the immigration thing. I watched a video on YouTube. A guy named Bald and Bankrupt. You ever hear of him?
No.
He's bald and bankrupt. And what he does is he travels to places all over the world that are like places you never even heard of, right? And he shows you what life is like there. He's kind of a Russophile. Like he speaks Russian. He's from England. He speaks Russian. I don't think he's actually Russian, but he just loves the culture. And anyway, he goes to very strange, dangerous places usually. And he made a 3-part series where he started in South America. I think it was Venezuela, Honduras, way the hell down in South America. And he decided to take the immigrants' path, like without like passport, illegally, with the coyotes, with the cartels, and pass through a place called Darien Gap, which anybody, which is a jungle. Like realistically, you could get in your car and drive from Alaska to the tip of South America if it wasn't for the Darien Gap.
Okay.
Right. So the Darien Gap.
I think I saw a clip of this.
It was.
I didn't know. I always thought you could drive that road in its entirety, but
only because of the Darien Gap you can't.
yeah,
From my understanding,
it sounds like the worst place in the world.
it is the worst place in the world. It's 5 nights. So he gets into Colombia. He's going from country to country, and he's doing what they're doing. Like he's roughing it essentially, and he's sort of hoping that it works out for him. He's with one other guy. He's filming everything himself, and he gets to Colombia. He pays for a wristband, which will let him get over to the Darien Gap. And once he's there, they have basically coyotes, cartel guys who say, we'll protect you. Women get raped, people get killed. It's 4 or 5 nights in the jungle where you don't know where you're going. You say everything is like all the campsites are covered in shit and litter, and there's dead bodies. He's passing dead bodies. Anyway, he gets through the Darien Gap. He gets held by immigration. They send him to Costa Rica with everybody else, and then from Costa Rica he makes his way up into Mexico, and then he takes which is another thing I didn't know about. It's a train called the Beast, which they ride on top of, and they have to wait for a certain train, and then they pay off. Like everybody chips in, pays the conductor to slow the train down and let them climb on top overnight, where the temperatures get down. Pregnant women, baby. That's another thing. Women with 2-year-old kids crossing the Darien Gap. It was, and it's a 3-part series. It was one of the most, and his whole thing was like, whatever you think about immigrants, politics aside, like the people he was talking to everybody there. There's like you could tell there's a lot of like gang guys who are fleeing and like
of course
bad people, but mostly what he was showing anyway was like families. And he was saying, like, this is what these people, like, every time you meet a Venezuelan, every time you meet somebody who came here illegally, they all did this. This is like the path that they, maybe a little bit different here and there, but this, and he did it. He crossed over. He did the whole thing, which is, A, it showed me how crazy it is. B, it shows you how these countries facilitate it, because once he crossed the Darien Gap, Panama held him and sent him to Costa Rica. Why wouldn't they send him back to where he came from? But from Costa Rica, he was able to get into Mexico. This is the path that they all take. And then, and number 3 was like, you get the humanizing. It's really easy. You know me, I don't give a fuck about anybody. You know what I mean? Like, you got to go back. Yeah. But to show the immigration route and like what the families, people that do come here, because and he's asking, why are you coming here? And like, well, what's his name? Maduro, who Venezuela. He's crashed our economy.
Yeah,
There's no money. We're starving to death. We had to move to Colombia, and from Colombia we're living on the streets, and from Colombia it's just like, why wouldn't we try to make it to Canada or America? And then, but then on the other side, you see all the people where the gang members in Venezuela were cracked down on, and they're like, well, I got to get the fuck out of here because the president's throwing us.
Yeah.
So they all came here. And the route that he took. Anyway, anybody who's made it this far into the podcast, I highly suggest. I mean, it was I was glued to the television. It was a three-part series.
And it actually made you empathetic for.
Super empathetic.
Right.
Not that I feel like it shows you how. For me, the question of immigration becomes, if we're going to spend billions of dollars on absorbing a population, why wouldn't you take that same money and put it into the economies? Like, why wouldn't like the CIA you guys overthrow governments all the time? Why wouldn't we make these places more livable? Why wouldn't we support presidents like the Venezuelan president, but then don't allow those criminals to come in here, bullpen them off and send them to the prisons that they belong in, because they were just escaping, basically prosecution
to come here,
and to put the money into like building up the South American and Central American countries to make them not a cartel-run cesspool of corruption, because that's what it is.
Yeah,
because the police, the government officials, everybody who were preying on these people along the way, like raping the women, like literally raping the women, stealing their money, making them pay for every step that they took, and they've already paid thousands of dollars to get just to get to the wristband to cross from Colombia into.
Yeah, it's big business.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, I mean, my perception of, listen, I'm not for legal immigration at this point. I am against immigration, but
Nick Jr. over here.
But I did, just for a little while, for like 10 years. Can we just put it like no, you can't. I don't care where you're from. Just everybody, let's just chill out.
Yeah.
But it really put a humanizing. Like, you see the people that come over. So when you meet somebody who's like says that they're from Mexico, you know that they're here illegally, or Venezuela, you can bet that they went through at least a section of this, which is like nothing you've ever dreamed of in your entire life.
Yeah, no, I believe
they have the Darien Gap is like actual, like they said I don't know what I was watching, but it was and what I saw was very short. It might have been like an actual short, but there's like uncivilized like tribes in those,
like people eating tribes,
like Cannibal Holocaust, Green Inferno type shit in there, isn't there?
It is it is cartel run. So they're making cocaine in there.
Like the people that
there may be tribes in there that have never had contact with, but I mean,
what was that one movie about the trafficking? That like they were.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. That Mel Gibson's buddy. They produced
the one that was in the theaters and got all that pushback.
Yeah,
and they were saying wasn't real. Like that. That's where like it's that kind of stuff, right? Like
I mean,
they're literally in tribes in the middle of nowhere, off the grid.
That's the thing. Like, you see children coming over there, and there is no way to prove. Like, how do you know that child over there that's her father?
That's her father. Yeah,
you don't know.
They're not IDing them. They're not taking a genetic test.
You don't. And anything that happens inside of that jungle over those 5 nights that you're there, it's like. Between having to survive Colombia and then having to survive the Darien Gap, it's like you're coming out with nothing because everything of value is like being taken, and your life is it's worthless.
Yeah,
wasn't
that one of the things that Kamala was in charge of? Was the border?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the problem with having is it incentivizes people to make that trip, and also like. Just from the children's standpoint, it's like there is no real. I don't know if they're really vetting. How do you know who's coming?
They're not.
You don't.
They're not.
It's crazy. And to say that there's nothing that we can do with the infinite supply of, like, we have infinite money. Clearly, I mean, we're basically propping up war
countries right now.
We're funding Ukraine with 2 wars.
Yeah,
2 wars actually.
And so to say that we have money for that kind of stuff and not to have money to fix. The problems that are our neighbors, because I mean it's so obvious. This is that Mexico and all the South American countries, Central American countries, are, with the exception of I guess now Venezuela, or El Salvador rather, is completely corrupt. So, it's insane. It's just cartel run, drug money run. They're committing like Aztec style brutal crimes on each other. Like a guy, there was a mayor. Did you see the mayor? He got elected mayor of some town, and like the next day, his head was on top of his car. Like that just happened last week.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. Check it out.
It's nuts. Oh man. I
You
mean,
just changed my vote, Scott.
No. We're not trying to change votes. Just trying to direct our democratically elected officials to solving the problem of immigration for everybody's safety.
I talked to a guy today that I was personal training that got invited to kind of like the business group that I go to every Thursday morning. This was like a high-end one where the dues are like $20,000 a year. So this is all like corporations that are worth minimum of like $10-15 million a year.
Yeah.
And they all have analytical people that work inside to try to help you, grow your business and kind of see what's going on, what's going to come for the future. And he was there yesterday. It was in Jersey City, and he told me that all these people were telling him that no matter who gets elected, by the year 2030, 31, there's going to be a recession, like the biggest recession, no matter even if there's World War III, which could potentially happen.
Yeah.
Because of, because something to do with China and work not coming out of there or whatnot. But that it doesn't matter who the hell is going to get elected. The reason why this country is going to go to shit by 2030 is because the baby boomers, healthcare, they are living too long, and instead of that money getting passed down like it has in the past to the children, they're going to have to use that money to take care of themselves.
You could bleed the system.
Correct. So there's not going to be that pass down that's happened a lot.
So I mean, why, the doomsayers? But why? Like, so then, how do you get these guys? How do you get people to stay invested in the economy if that's your belief?
They say that like it's inevitable. It's going to happen no matter what, and you could prepare and don't. Just because this is coming, a lot of people get rich during that time. Because they could foreshadow this coming.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's like the COVID. How many people got rich during COVID?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this guy totally put like a doom. Like I was just like, fuck, man.
Why are you telling me
I
this?
was so sad this morning talking to this guy, bro.
I'm ready for the apocalypse.
I want something to happen. I want something.
Nothing ever happens.
Nothing's gonna happen. It doesn't matter who wins. Nothing's gonna happen. But World War III could definitely happen.
Well, I think was an hour, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you have anything else you want to say? Anything you want to plug, John? Oh, do you want to talk about your karate tournament?
No. I mean, we can if you're going to take it seriously.
I will. I just want to acknowledge on the podcast that John, for the first time since I've known him, competed in a sport that required discipline and dedication, and he was able to diet down, make weight, and he placed, and he got himself a purple belt. And I'm proud of you, bud.
Oh, thank you.
And you celebrated a big day this month.
Big day. What are you talking about? The purple belt? Or are you talking about the clean date?
Clean day and purple belt. Big days for you.
It was a big week.
Big week. Yeah.
It's been a good.
It must suck living in the shadow of my birthday, but it's okay.
Yeah,
Clean dates are more important than your birthday.
Yeah.
I think my clean date's more important than my birthday.
Oh, I agree. 100%.
But he did kill it.
I think it was fun. It was a.
Was it a learning experience? I was there. Justin wasn't there. I was there to support.
He didn't want to come.
That's not true.
I'm kidding.
That's not true.
I was very.
He's very adamant in saying he didn't want anybody there.
I didn't want anybody there.
Yeah.
I knew
I
that
forced my way in.
You forced your way in. Dave forced his way in, but shout out to Dave. He was there the entire time, even throughout the entire prep.
Yeah, nothing
training camp.
going on that day, I guess.
No, I think that I had a lot of good conversations with Dave when I first decided to do it. He was one of the first person. I think that was the last time that we met. Was like when I had officially committed to doing this, and I didn't say anything. I was still in the phase of like
I don't want to tell nobody.
I'm not going to do it. If I do it, I'm not going to do well.
You cut 20 pounds to make weight?
I got 20 pounds in 6 weeks.
And Dave was right there by your side, him and Joey Mack.
And
Joey
you,
Mack. I cut 20 pounds to make weight. It was weight that needed to be lost already. I had the option to compete at a heavier at a heavier weight, but I kind of in my head knew that I needed to do something, that I was kind of letting myself go. Lack of motivation and tons of factors were going into the fact that I just was not taking the diet or training seriously. I remember having a thought when I found out about the tournament. My first thought was like, wow, that would be cool to do that. I want to do that. And then my second thought was immediate, like fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a moment where I had to examine that. And I was like, that's the 100% the reason why I need to do this.
Right.
And so I did it. And in the beginning, I think I told Justin, but one of the few people that knew about it was Dave. And, you know, he was a professional boxer for a long time. So he was motivational. He was, you know, he was his insight was definitely useful in that. But, you know, I kicked it up. I went from, you know, dieting to, I was probably down to under 1,500 calories a day.
Brutal.
Fasted a couple
And
days.
John loves food.
I had to fast a couple days.
A lot of water.
Water cut.
Yeah, man. It was fun to watch.
Jiu-jitsu and wrestling 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Brutal. It was brutal on the body. And then, you know, I mean, you were there. It was, everything kind of just happened so quickly. That,
Yeah,
like, I
you don't
didn't
even
have
really
time.
remember.
I don't even remember it. I mean,
It's your adrenaline dump.
it was the adrenaline dump.
That's
I
so
mean, the
fun.
last match that I got smoked in, I have absolutely no.
You were gassed.
I remember that double leg takedown. That's it. I remember hitting the ground hard.
Yeah, you had some
And that
good
was-
takedowns that didn't count because they were out.
Yeah,
Which
they
was
went out
really
of bounds.
small. It was a really small
Circle or
ring.
Right.
So a couple of his takedowns, I thought you did well. You held your own. You
Yeah.
lost to the same guy twice, so that really counts as one loss, and
Yeah.
you beat a guy. So you're
One and
one and one as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the first match.
And you got a little medal, a little trophy.
Yeah, I did. I got a silver medal,
And you got a purple belt.
and I got a purple belt this past weekend. So I am now
Dues
available.
Seriously.
Protection
Proud
for
of that
hire.
You're
need
going
me.
to start a
I'm
security
gonna start a
team.
security business.
Yeah,
All
he's the muscle.
Par-
of Paramount.
Paramount
You should go
Security.
beat up Van Wyck.
I should. I should. But no, Scott, and then not only did Scott come and support me, but he had a cheat meal with me afterwards.
Nice.
So that was
I like that.
nobody wanted to.
I didn't cheat, but
No.
No.
I mean, he's doing his carnivore. He had a cheeseburger with no bun. He had 2 cheeseburgers with no bun. Bacon, cheese,
Right.
beef.
yeah, carnivore.
But no,
life.
it was a good time. I'm definitely going to do it again.
Good.
I'm
I
definitely
think you
going to do
should.
it again. And it's so funny how the mindset changes after that to where I'm just like, it is so. I mean, I've managed to maintain weight. I've put on 1 pound since of my weigh-in weight.
That's awesome.
And it's been a month.
Yeah.
Literally a month. But I don't know how I'm doing it because you
Body's
know,
a crazy thing, bro.
Once you get the metabolism gassed up,
yeah, but I'm still eating pretty well. But it's like every meal is a fight. It's just so. And when I was doing it, it was just like
you had to do it because you
I
don't
was
want to be
in it.
embarrassed.
I didn't want to be embarrassed. I was
Yeah.
locked in. There was no other. There was no other thought.
Embarrassment is a great motivation.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Bro, I didn't eat for 60 hours.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I 1 week I was losing like 3 pounds a week, 3 pounds a week, and then I checked in. I was doing twice a week check-ins. It went from once a week to twice a week, and then the last like 2 weeks, last like 10 days, it was every day. The Joey Mack, my coach,
Held it
not my
down.
jiu-jitsu coach, who was also amazing. All my coaches were amazing, but Joey Mack, my nutrition coach, was, texting me all day long, like literally weight. The last couple of days was weight. Every time I put something in my body, I had to weigh myself.
Yeah. That's
But
crazy.
He was gonna hang it up. He was miserable that last week.
Yeah, I know he was.
I felt it. I felt like a part
like
of
prep
something.
week.
Though. It was like I felt like I was in. Yeah,
I
so
bet.
I can see how it's addicting. From the bodybuilding aspect, I guess if that's your thing.
Yeah. When people are like, "Oh, take me back to prep,"
I had very low standards. I just didn't want to get embarrassed,
and you didn't.
and I didn't.
Yeah.
I actually got a W.
Fuck yeah, you did.
But the whole, like I said, when I was going down 2-3 pounds a week, and then my Wednesday check-in after the Saturday, I had nowhere gained 2 pounds.
Right.
And then he's like, and then the 2 pounds didn't go away.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
I know where. What do you mean?
No, I didn't cheat or anything.
No?
No,
Where'd it come from?
I don't know. Stress.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
just hold the water.
body,
Yeah.
you know, my
Inflammation.
I'm training 5 times a week like that was insane.
Yeah, the recovery for us is...
Bruised. I mean, you saw me, black eyes.
He had black eyes, and like,
you know,
like we did like
He
three,
loves it,
you got
though.
like 3 videos on Instagram where you're welted up and
yeah,
all 3 of
I
them,
got
like,
welts on my head.
like nose.
But he told me, he said, "Nah, you're done." I checked in that following Saturday. I didn't lose any weight. He said 2 gallons of water, 2 cups of coffee a day for the next 2 days.
Sick. And then I bet the adrenaline rush was probably all worth it.
That was the worst part.
What?
Yeah.
The
the
fasting? Oh
with the
yeah, of
water.
course.
It was
fucking brutal, dude.
It was brutal. And then I mean, like I said, I saw you that morning. I weighed in. I got to go eat breakfast, which was nice. And then I went over to the venue because they didn't want you hanging out there, like until because it was too crowded. So I went over there with the mindset of having an hour and a half before I was up. I had like a time thing. It was like a live update time thing, and it bumped up like a half hour. And I think within 15 minutes of me being in the building, I was on the mat. So there was no time for fucking nervous poopies.
Nothing's better. Nothing's better than that adrenaline, dude.
Yeah.
That shit is the fucking greatest.
I miss wrestling, man.
Hell
that was
yeah.
the
It was
time.
fun.
That was a good time.
Last time I felt that adrenaline was with him.
Put a little rugby.
That was
A
fun.
little rugby. That was
Full
the last time.
contact. Will
Maybe-
wake you the fuck up.
Hell yeah, that first hit was fucking like it was like a
Somebody
shot of
trying to embarrass you, someone trying to kill you, that'll wake you up.
Hell yeah,
Yeah, that I don't remember anything from the last match except that double leg takedown.
no doubt.
Yeah.
I hit the ground hard.
You did.
Well,
he
you crushed it, dude. I'm proud of you. When's the next one?
I don't know.
All right,
I don't know.
I
keep us
don't know.
posted.
I'm definitely gonna do it again. You can come this time,
All right, I
Justin.
appreciate that.
You can come. Maybe we'll get you in there. You want to compete?
No, I'm all set on that. All right, what do you think?
All right, guys. That was it. Let's wrap it up. Season 3, episode 1. I think we're off to a good start. We're going to have 1 million views. I'll be happy with 50, honestly.